I taught for many years in the prison in San Quentin and also in Tracy. And I used to teach pottery, and these guys would struggle to make the perfect cup, the perfect cup, the perfect cup. And finally I said to them, you know, if you want perfect, you should buy it at Kmart. Because what's beautiful is the imperfection, the hand of the artist. Seeing the hand of the artist is what's beautiful.
I think beauty is unfortunately associated with perfection. And I'll say it in this way. We can make of perfection far too static. When we make of perfection far too static, then beauty becomes static. It becomes unchanging. It has a kind of absolute quality about it.
The beautiful is a combination of form, time, and intention, and appreciation that have all come together. So a beautiful moment would be a scroll that says in beautiful Hebrew letters, Tzedek, Tzedek, Terdof. Justice, justice, you should do. It's written out on a beautiful piece of cloth, of animal hide for a Torah scroll. It's written in beautiful Hebrew letters, black on the off-white. Someone has read it aloud in a clear voice with correct pronunciation of the Hebrew. Tzedek, Tzedek, Terdof. Someone has heard the words, justice, justice, you shall pursue, has thought about their lives. What am I doing in my life that brings more justice into the world? Makes a decision to create an act of justice.
Good, how are you?
All that happened in the same moment. And that would have been a beautiful moment.
If we see in the experience of beauty the dynamism of life and the dynamism of love, then it causes us to reframe our notion of perfection.
My whole thing right now is about wabi-sabi, the philosophy of the beauty of impermanence and imperfection.
The trees are beautiful. They're even beautiful when the leaves are off. It's a different kind of beauty. You know, the English garden, part of the English garden is you let the plants, die so that they come back to life in the spring, and they leave them. They leave the withered leaf.
Beauty is not always about perfection, the pristine.
I do not believe that beauty is pretty.
This is not beautiful. I mean, this is beautiful to me, but it's not pretty. I had a leaf in the bathroom, and when I put it in the vase in the bathroom, it was beautiful, green, flexible, and then it started to yellow, and it looked like it was, getting a little past its prime. And then it finally turned out like this right here. And to me, it had so much wisdom in it that I kept it there for a long time. But if you look at each element in it, the coils of the spring, there's beauty. And to look at the leaf, there's beauty in it. And it's not that young leaf that you see in the springtime. It's an old leaf. And I always feel that they've gathered wisdom. And if you look at it individually, you'll see this beauty in imperfection, in things that are old. What may be pretty at one time, it's not going to last. It evolves. And I think that's a mystery of what's going to happen, but it's also something very exciting.
If we were to start with a shot of Dan Valancourt as Standard Beauty, you would see an old man, bags under his eyes. But when I start talking, I'm still the old man, that hasn't changed, but you're seeing a dynamism that's coming out in my brokenness. And that's the type of beauty we need to retrain ourselves. Take a shot of a person, and you compare yourself to another frozen shot of an ideal. That standard beauty is one that I believe is at the source of enormous amount of problems in our society.
I remember seeing, and I believe it was Malcolm Muggeridge's documentary on Mother Teresa. Malcolm Muggeridge said, when he first looked at the face of Mother Teresa, he thought she was the ugliest woman he had ever seen. He couldn't imagine he was going to be doing a documentary on someone who was so ugly. And then he did the documentary. And he saw her act in Calcutta, in those streets, going out to those people who were so terribly poor and terribly wounded by life. And at the end of the documentary, he said, and now when I look at the face of Mother Teresa, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. So there's a way in which we can not see beauty because we're looking at the surface. We are only looking at certain aspects and we don't see the whole thing. What Malcolm Muggeridge saw at the beginning of his documentary on Mother Teresa was her face. What Malcolm Muggeridge saw at the end of his documentary on Mother Teresa was who she was. And she was beautiful, even though she wouldn't have won a beauty contest. What is perfection? Is it having no faults? Is that what perfection means? Or does perfection mean always going out of myself in greater and greater generosity, in greater and greater love? So to reframe beauty around love, to reframe it around mystery, to reframe it around God, causes me to reframe perfection around the dynamism of love and generosity.
When we see tragedies in the world that create such stress and pain in our heart, and we see other people responding, with care and compassion and skill, we say beautiful. In the midst of the pain, we can still find beauty because of what pain and suffering elicit in the beauty of the heart.
Wine is pretty. Spices are pretty in the sense that they are enlivening to the spirit. They wake you up. It is wonderful to wake up in the morning and be appreciative of the dawn, to be present in nature. This is all the attractive, the pretty, the good-looking leads to something, and that's where the beautiful comes in. That the pretty is the start. It's the part that awakens the senses. That's the good first step. The beautiful, at least in the rabbinic concept, is a step above and beyond. Beauty is the attractive, the good-looking, the pretty with purpose.